Hello everybody, welcome to the Nürburgring. Low cloud, rain in the air, but sunshine at the same time. It's just about the usual standard fare here in this part of the world. Who knows what the weather's going to do? We've had some rain, it's stopped, the track is damp, the car's headed onto the grid for the BMW M2 Cup, their second race of the weekend, about to get underway in round 6 of the championship. Chris Hartley here to talk you through the action. Let's go down onto the grid though and catch up with some stories from Verena Vriet.
Hello everyone, here we are at the Nürburgring with the crazy weather, and indeed the sun is shining at the moment, but here you never know how it's going to turn out. Before we speak to drivers, let's have a look at yesterday's race, so here's a little summary for you.
Wenn sich einer gedreht hat, wenn einer, was weiß ich, ausholt und so weiter, kommt immer die Meldung auch über die Streckenkosten. Ne?
For the first time, it's a great start for Leighton Fury. Comes across, watch for the number. It's the car drift out wide coming out of turn 6, shows his nose at turn 7. There's almost contact between them, but he stays just behind. And Leighton Fury is a race winner in the BMW M2.
I know, unique experience, an amazing track, crazy weather, sums it all up. Yeah.
Last lap I try in the last corner, but in the end P2 is very good.
Those men is the reason why I'm here. So yeah, it was good effort from the team and good preparation gave us the victory today.
So crazy weather yesterday, crazy race yesterday, and yeah, the BMW M2 Cup is very, very special, that's for sure. The whole concept of it is focusing on new talents, on young talents, and the father of this young man who's starting in P2 today, Leighton Fury, is Gerald Fury, and you're from South Africa, but you chose this cup especially. Why is it so ideal for you?
It's a perfect platform. First of all, it's a one-make series, which is the perfect platform for kids to come to Europe, to learn where the competition in the motor cars is equal, where you can develop as a driver, have coaches work with you, and Project One and BMW had the perfect pyramid to start at the bottom in this series and learn so much and grow from there into the next series and eventually reach the pinnacle. The way that the coaches work with the drivers, the way that the team works with the drivers to teach them how to work with the media, how to prepare themselves emotionally. This weekend has been, the weather, as you say, has been all over the place. It's been so unpredictable. And without the support of Project One and the coaches and the team, it would be very difficult for the drivers to emotionally prepare themselves. It's the perfect platform to start your motor racing career.
Absolutely, and I mean your son won yesterday, he did a fantastic job, and today he's starting in B2, so what are you expecting? What do you think? Will he get another win today?
It'll definitely be a learning process for him today. In these conditions, they're a bit more wet than yesterday, but that is why we are here. I know Leighton will do his best. I know he has the talent to win. He's got a great team behind him. They have definitely prepared the car to the best it can be. They've prepared him to the best he can be. And he will go out there and learn today. That is why we are here, to learn today and to become a better driver for the future. So whatever happens today, he will learn something, and he will be a better driver from that.
Wow, well, thank you so much for the pep talk. That's just amazing, and all the motivation that goes all the way there to Leighton. So, Gerald, thank you so much, and let's find out from Leighton. Hopefully the good spirits from your father arrived here. I mean, he's just raving about the BMW M2 Cup. You know your dad, so starting from P2, how are you going to make it to hopefully get another victory?
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of a different starting position from yesterday. But I think the same philosophy, really. Just try to get in the lead. I think the clear air is a real advantage. So let's see the start that we get on the dirty side of the grid. Hopefully it's good. And if I can get Colin in turn 1, then I think we just put down our heads and focus on the race.
You make it sound so easy. But the weather might be a gamble, right?
Yeah, I mean, it looks like we're getting some clouds from turn 1. So hopefully they stay away, because I prefer these type of conditions. But either way, if the rain comes, then bring it on, because I'm ready for it.
All right, bring it on. Thank you so much, Leighton. Best of luck for the race. And now we're going to head over here to the pole setter, Colin Bönighausen. And he's obviously going to try his very, very best to stay in the front, because that's what it's all about victory. So, Colin, hey there. You've got someone behind you, Leighton, who's going to try his very best to overtake you. So what are you going to do in order to keep in the front? It's going to be a tough race, huh?
Yeah, the guys behind me are very fast. I will give everything to stay in front for my first podium this year. It didn't work out quite well this year for me, so I hope this race will be good.
All right, and how tricky is the Nürburgring despite the weather? I mean, obviously that's not going to be easy either.
Yeah, it's quite tricky because always changing conditions, so I hope for a dry race, but now it's wet again, so I will do the best.
All right, well, best of luck. Thank you so much, Colin. And now we're going to head over to P3, because we've got Bart Horsten, who's also very eager to get this race started, because he's just feeling it in his fingers, I'm sure, the way I know Bart. So, Bart, starting from P3, hello there. It's going to be a tough one out there. What are you going to do?
I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see what the track's like, but I'm just going to get out there, try and adapt to the track as quickly as possible, play around with the car a bit, and just keep on pushing forward.
How tricky will it be? I mean, we've seen a few cars in the DTM and all the other series. We've seen them sliding around. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's a challenging circuit, especially with the changeable weather. But I'm ready for the challenge, and I'm sure the car is going to be able to handle it.
All right, Bart. Best of luck. Thank you so much. And now, yeah, let these guys get focused. So now we are getting ready for the race. And here are your commentators. Enjoy.
Thanks very much indeed, Verena. Right, cars on the grid. It's going to be a 22-minute plus 1 lap race. They're about to head off onto the first of 2 formation laps, an extra formation lap, just to give the drivers a chance to acclimatise, because that's this rain shower around about 10 minutes before they came to the grid. It's stopped now, the sun is out, but as Leighton Fury said, there are some dark clouds, as you can see there, and some low clouds as well down at turn 1. That's the vantage point from Carmen Krav, who is starting back on the 7th row of the grid. Got a best result so far this season yesterday, her first top 10 finish. Lucas Seidel is an additional driver this weekend. He's going to try and compete in 2 weekends this season as a guest driver. So Luca involved in an incident yesterday with Claudia Henning at the start of the race. So we're looking to get some running today, but obviously tricky conditions, as we've been hearing, with parts of the track dry or dry-ish, and parts of the track still damp. Right, you've heard from the championship leader, Bart Horsten. He's the new championship leader, but only just luck. You got 3 points covering the top 4 in the championship. With his first win in the BMW M2 Cup yesterday, Leighton Fury moved from 5th to 2nd in the championship. He was hassled all the way to the flag by Max Rosam, who's on the same points as him now, and has moved up to 3rd in the championship. And Denny Berndt yesterday lost the championship lead when he failed to get onto the podium for the 2nd consecutive race. Started the year with 2 wins and a 2nd, but 13th in race 2 at the Nürburgring and 8th place yesterday. Although it could have been worse for Denny, because he had a spin on the first lap and dropped to the very back of the field. So we'll see what Denny can do in this one. But Leighton Fury in 2nd place. We're looking to get back-to-back wins. We've only had 1 driver that's done that this season. That is Denny Berndt in the first weekend at Oschersleben. And for the driver on pole position that you heard from, Colin Bönighausen, he's looking not just for a first win in the championship, but also for a first podium. He's had 2 consecutive 4th place finishes now, so he's due one, and he was very much in the fight yesterday. He started on the front row of the grid yesterday as well in 2nd place. There he is to the right of your picture with the dark blue car with the yellow flashes on the front. And Colin Bönighausen yesterday lost a bit of time off the start. He didn't get a great start, so dropped from 2nd down to 4th, which is where he ended up finishing. So the car's about to head off onto actually pretty critical couple of formation laps here, where they can just get their eye in just to try and work out where the damp patches might be. Unless it rains again, the racing line is going to dry up, but to go and overtake somebody, of course, you have to go off the racing line, so you do need to know where their damp patches are. Looks like Armageddon over there, doesn't it? So absolutely pitch black over beyond the grandstands overlooking the first complex, the Mercedes Arena, on this 2.6 kilometre long circuit. Turn 1 tricky because it's a downhill run. Once you get about 150 metres away and start getting into the braking zone for turn 1, the track falls away, drops down, and it really steeply drops in the middle of the corner, which means the back end of the car goes light, which means it's very easy to lock up under braking and to understeer through the corner. So cars heading off onto the formation lap. It's going to be the 6th race of the championship. Winners so far this year, Bart Horston, the new championship leader. Yesterday, Nathan Fury. 2 wins, as I mentioned, for Denny Berndt. And Senna van Sola has been a race winner as well. He's dropped to 5th in the championship now, but it'll be one to watch, I reckon, Senna, because he's a very capable driver. Yesterday, he was involved in an incident, got served a drive-through penalty, but he still scored the fastest lap of the race. So watch out for Senna in the number 24 car, the Dutch driver. Right, let's give you the starting order for this race then. They have one qualifying session on Friday. Each driver's fastest lap time set the grid for race 1 yesterday. Each driver's second best lap time is what sets the grid for this second race of the weekend. And on pole position for the first time is Colin Jamie Berninghausen. Alongside him, yesterday's race winner, Nathan Fury, the driver from Johannesburg in South Africa. The championship leader, Bart Horston's going to start 3rd on the grid, 4th on the grid. The driver that was knocking on the door of a win yesterday, Max Rosam. Jan Matthäus is going well in the championship. He starts 5th. Senna van Sola, I think, one to watch from 6th on the grid. Row 4, we've got Julius Denison, the Danish driver, ex-Formula 4 racer, and the former championship leader, Denny Berndt, starting in 8th place. Luca Link starts in 9th, looking to better his best result so far of the season of 7th. And the Australian driver, Robbie McAfee, starting alongside him. Then we've got 11th and 12th, Louisa Carla and Claudia Henning. And Claudia hoping to have more luck than she had yesterday. Carmen Krav, we've seen on the grid, she starts 13th. Lucas Idol, the guest driver, starts 14th. Adrian Rushny starting in 15th place. And then Alex Walker, the British driver, starting in 16th, the ex-Formula 4 racer, who had a good race yesterday to come through the field from a lowly grid position. It looks very, very dark overhead, but for now the rain is holding off here. So Colin Jamie Berninghausen looking for his first win, as I say. He's on his first pole position. It was mighty close, 81 thousandths of a second between the top 2 in qualifying, based on their second fastest lap times. But if you think that's tight, it wasn't even the closest gap that we've had in qualifying so far this season. That was 14 thousandths of a second at the Nürburgring. So it's been so close. 91 thousandths of a second is the average gap between the top 2 in qualifying this year. The drivers all in identical BMW M2 Cup cars. They produce about 365 brake horsepower. They have 7-speed gearboxes, sequential gearboxes with a paddle shift, rear-wheel drive, of course, as well. And as many of you who follow the championship will know, but if it's your first time watching, they drive a different car each weekend. The week before each event, all the cars are supplied by BMW and Project One, who run the championship, and you get allotted a number, a car drawn out of that, and that's the car that you have for that weekend, to make the emphasis very much on driver ability. The mechanics from BMW stay with each car, so you work with different mechanics and engineers each weekend as well. And it's all about the all-round education and development of these drivers as they look to go up the motorsport pyramid and eventually into GT3 racing. And you saw in the montage at the start of the show there from yesterday, drivers up in race control. So the drivers were given a talk in race control just to help them understand how it works and the pressures that the officials are under, what they have to deal with, what they're seeing from race control. So it's an excellent way to not just develop the drivers, as Gerald Fury was saying, but also develop their all-round education, all the other things they need to know about, not just racecraft, not just overtaking, but how to deal with the media, the fitness levels that's required of you, tips for getting yourself up to speed before a race. Lots of them do reaction tests and juggle balls and catch balls and things like that, just to wake themselves up before they get into the cars. So, over dark skies here at the Nürburgring, round 6 of the championship about to get underway, with Colin Jamie Berninghausen leading them around, ready to go onto the grid. He is 18 years of age, comes from Hanover, and was the Porsche Sprint Challenge Europe champion last year. Did have some guest drives in the BMW M2 Cup last year at the back end of the season at the Red Bull Ring and the final weekend at Hockenheim. Had a best result of 5th. He's been 4th twice, as mentioned, so he's looking for his first podium, and from his point of view, hopefully his first win. But Leighton Fury alongside him, the South African 17-year-old from Johannesburg, who also had a guest drive at Hockenheim last year, got on the podium in his second ever race in the championship, former South Africa VW Polo Cup champion, VW Challenge champion, and Global Touring Cars Super champion, racing in Europe for the first time, learning all of the tracks. All the races are in Europe and Germany in particular, with away days at Zandvoort and at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. However, it's a very international grid because you've got 9 different nationalities from around the world represented on the grid. An average age of the drivers at just 18 years of age. These are the stars of the future, and we're about to sit and go racing. Yesterday's race was an absolute belter. Hopefully, we're going to have more of the same. Chris Hartley here overlooking the start-finish line, just in the last row of the grid lining up. I'm going to talk you through the action. 22 minutes plus 1 lap for the BMW M2 Cup. Round 6 of 2023. To the left of your picture, Leighton Fury. To the right, the pole sitter, Colin Berninghausen. The green flag is waved at the back of the grid. The red lights build. They come on. As soon as they go out, we go racing. Revs rise, they drop the clutches, and they charge towards the first corner. And it's a pretty good start for both of the front row starters. Colin Berninghausen from pole position, trying to squeeze across and cover off the line. Just about stays ahead of Leighton Fury. Bart Horston in his second season of the championship, number 50, trying to come around the outside, the championship leader. He's got ahead of Leighton Fury. He's on the damp patch, though, on the way into the left-hander at turn 2. He's not fully alongside the pole sitter, Colin Berninghausen. So I think Colin in the dark blue car is just about going to hang on to this as they go through the left at turn 3. But Horston is there into third place. Second place. Third place is Leighton Fury. Leaves the door a bit open, though, Bart Horston on the way to the right-hander at turn 4, and the race leader goes wide. We've seen drivers in earlier sessions struggling at the next corner, the hairpin. Bart Horston's got the inside line. It's pretty greasy down here. Can they get through the corner? Yes! And Bart Horston gets the lead of the race. So Horston into first position from third on the grid. Colin Berninghausen under attack already from Leighton Fury, but he closes the door on the way into the left-hander at turn 6, the Kumo curve. Through the pit curve at turn 7, and they begin the rise uphill now through the flat-out right-hander at turn 8, all the way up to the top of the hill at the Vidal chicane. In fact, it's not quite the top of the hill. He's still climbing all the way to the final corner now. Look at that, nose to tail in the battle for second place. Berninghausen's going to have his mirrors absolutely full of Leighton Fury's bright yellow number 46 car. He shows his nose up the inside. Senna Van Soler is about to dive up the inside of Max Rozam as well, just behind them, or try to. And then you've got Denny Bernd in there as well, the former championship leader in the yellow number 8 car. Van Soler gets to the head of that group into fourth place. Fifth place for number 5, Rozam. And look at Denny Bernd trying to come around the outside now to gain a place on the run over the start-finish line in the second of the yellow cars, the number 8 machine. He's in a sandwich at the moment. He's got one car to his right, one car to his left. He's going toe-to-toe here with Jan Matthäus in the number 57 car, but Max Rozam is still just ahead of them as well. Senna Van Solen's got ahead of him now into fourth place, so Rozam has slipped to fifth on that first lap of the race. Denny Bernd goes way out wide. Be careful because the grass is still very wet and slippery and treacherous. Gets it back on the track, doesn't get ahead of Rozam, but he stays alongside and just about in front of number 57, Jan Matthäus. You've got Luca Link trying to get in on the action as well in the green and white 33 car just behind. Still toe-to-toe here. Luca Link has got through. He's gained a place. Number 95, Julius Denison with the purple flashes on the car. He's the next one to get involved. Denny Bernd runs wide, puts 2 wheels on the grass, loses traction, leaves the door open up the inside, but he doesn't want to gift a position here to number 5, Max Rozam, who just about creeps through on the way through the hairpin, gets his nose in front. And as a result of that trip on the grass, Denny Bernd loses a place but gets it straight back up the inside into turn 6. Fantastic. So through he goes, back into the position. Does he? Yes, just because the door's open again all the way to turn 7. They drop downhill now a little bit before they start this climb up towards the chicane. But what a fantastic battle that is for 5th place already, sparking off. Might be damp and treacherous and tricky out there, but they are giving it full beans, these brave young drivers. Brilliant to watch, as it was yesterday, as it's been all season long. So they thud over the curbs on the way through the chicane. Oh, problem there for Claudia Henning. Out wide, might have been a bit of contact, so he's going to drop to the back of the field, just nibbles away at the left rear corner of Luca Seidel's car as she rejoins. There's another tussle going on a bit further back outside, or just on the fringes of the top 10. And involved in that is number 12, Adrian Rushny, who's gained a place actually. Carmen Crabb and Luisa Carla just behind. They will switch positions. So Horston leading the race by 1.1 seconds. Remember him, all the action's been behind. He's not that far clear of Colin Berninghausen in second. And Colin is even less of an advantage over Leighton Fury in third place. Senna Van Solen fourth, Denny Bernd in fifth, Max Rozam down to 6th place now. So Denny Bernd getting ahead while that battle's going on behind. And now we'll try and get his head down and close the gap to the next group of cars. We're missing one, by the way, for personal reasons. Max Turillian, number 58, has dropped out of race 2 today, missing his bodywork yesterday, got a clout and lost the rear bump out to come through the pit lane with the black and orange flag. I'm afraid he's missing the Argentinian this weekend, as we get a replay of the start, which was all very tight, wasn't it, for that run into turn 1 between the top two. Bönninghausen just about covered off the line, but in covering the inside line, there was an opportunity around the outside for number 50, Bart Horston, who carried that momentum around turn 1 and got the job done on the way through the left-handers at turns 2 and 3. This is the moment that Bart Horston, then having set himself up, conceded the position almost on the way through the hairpin at turn 5, but eventually, by the end of the first lap, got through. Oh dear, windscreen wipers on. The rain has started to fall. That dark rain-filled cloud never looked like it was going to let us off the hook for a whole 22 minutes plus 1 lap, and that's proven to be the case. So now you've got to relearn the braking points, relearn on every lap where you turn in, how hard you get on the throttle, because the track is going to evolve and change. Alex Walker in the red 41 car gaining a place on the run towards the chicane there. He's done well so far. He's on the fringe of the top 10 now, having started last, and the rain lashing it down. So this is a proper I4 region cloudburst now. The car's dancing around under braking. This really tricky first corner. The back end of the race leader's car slides out. Bart Horston, as he gets on the gas. And Senna van Zurlen, you can see, is up to 3rd place now. So down to 4th is yesterday's winner, Leighton Fury. Other cars slipping and sliding on the way through the first corner. So this is going to be all about feel and control now. Don't stamp on the brake, don't stamp on the throttle, because the car will slide around as it's doing now. It looks spectacular. It looks like rallying, and that's going to be Senna van Zurlen into a spin from 3rd place. So the Dutch driver with a full 360, he gathers it up, he gets going again, but he's going to rejoin somewhere, I think, behind Julius Denissen. So that is going to drop him down to 10th place, just in front of Alex Walker, or 9th place. So he'll try and recover now, but just got on the gas. The traction didn't stick. The back end of the car danced around, and around he went. So that puts Leighton Fury up to 3rd. And look, Denny Bennett from 8th on the grid, car number 8, 2-time winner this season, has gained another position as a result of that. So he's now up to 4th place as the rain gets heavier and heavier. Right, a replay of this moment. He almost lost it. Look, coming out at turn 3 into the right-hander at turn 4 on the curbs, which are wet, slides the back end, and it goes, and it goes, and it goes, and the momentum carries it round. Leighton Fury does a good job to avoid the spinning Dutchman. There was a big moment just ahead for Bart Horston as well. They're all getting twitchy, just controlling the cars with this immense skill that these young drivers have already developed. Many of them, of course, having come through karting, so there might be a team that might have already been racing for 10 years and no doubt will have experienced some conditions like this, but not necessarily in a GT4 car. Right, the gap growing on that last lap between 1st and 2nd. Bart Horston just edging out 0.7 of a second over Colin Bönninghausen. Look at the battle for 4th, though. Denny Berndt and Max Rosam are side by side. They were battling for wins in the opening round at Oschersleben. Max is in the number 5 car, the tall German driver who came very close to getting the race win yesterday, but try as he might, Leighton Fury didn't make any mistakes and kept him at bay. You've also got in the mix there Jan Matthäus, who's looking good in the number 57 car just behind. So a 3-way fight here. Ben is at the head of that group, trying different lines here, which sometimes you need to do actually in the wet. He's Max Rosam. It's not always the racing line that's the best line in the wet, because the rubber that gets laid down in dry conditions, that surface sheen of rubber, old rubber, can be very slippery in the wet. So sometimes the outside line is the best line to take. More grippy, it's a longer route, but there's more grip there, particularly on corners that are cambered, and there are a few cambered corners here where the rain will run to the inside, and that will start to have more standing water and therefore less grip. Right, Bart Horston leading by just over a second. Denny Berndt leaves the door crucially open, invitingly open. Trying to look at the inside was Max Rosam there, but nothing doing. So giving each other just enough room, just enough respect. Any contact when you're in the middle of a corner in these conditions, and the car is just going to spin instantaneously. So Horston leads, Bönninghausen 2nd, Fury in 3rd place. Berndt in 4th, Rosam 5th, Matthäus in 6th, and Luca Link just in the background there in 7th, Julius Denissen in 8th, Senna van Zurlen 9th after his spin a couple of laps ago. Alex Walker from the back to 10th, Carmen Kraft is 11th, Adrian Rouchny is 12th, Robbie McAfee is in that group as well in 13th, having celebrated his birthday at the start of the weekend. Robbie in the 22 car, just coming through your shot there, has gained a place by, he's 13th. But he is now ahead of Luisa Carla, Luca Seidel, and Claudia Henning was the one that's dropped to the back of that group. Replay coming up, and this was absolutely side by side as number 22, Robbie McAfee, getting up the inside of the number 12 car out of the curves for Adrian Rouchny. Side by side again, right behind him in the red and white 13 Shell branded car, Luisa Carla. And big sideways moment there, a big tank slapper for Adrian Rouchny, the number 12 car, which is why he's dropped down the order a bit. And Robbie McAfee has managed to get almost to the head of that pack. Great slow-mo of the cars bouncing over the curves, but also looking very dramatic with the raindrops pouring off the car. Oh, straight up for Colin Berninghausen as we rejoin live. He's gone off at the hairpin. Another one going off in the background as well. Just about getting back on the circuit. It's getting thoroughly wet out there. And so Colin Berninghausen, the pole sitter, trying to find a gap in the barriers now to try and rejoin, which he'll just about do because he's going to plummet all the way down, I think, to the back of the field as a result of that. So that will put Leighton Fury up to second, and up to third place Denny Bantluck, who's having an absolute stormer in these conditions. 6th and 7th going side by side as well here. I think it was Luca Link getting out a bit wide, but just about holding on to the position. And Senna Van Serlen is the one that's battling away with him for 6th place, having been off the road earlier on. That's Alex Walker going way out wide and bumping and boring across the grass, the muddy grass there, as he rejoined. That was a wild ride. It's so difficult out there, these conditions. So he rejoins just in front of Julius Denison. On the fringes of the top 10, those two are. In fact, will drop down, won't it? Because I think it was Julius that was the other one going wide at the hairpin, because they've both dropped back on this lap. Both out of the top 10 now, so down to 15th place. We've lost Claudia Henning completely from the running order now. Bart Horston, 3.3 seconds clear, doing a fantastic job in these wet conditions. The former Formula 4, Formula 3 and GB3 racer as Denny Beck goes straight on up the head for turn 1, runs wide. There's lots of run-up area there. He'll hold on to his position, but he's lost a ton of time to Leighton Fury. Rejoins just in front of Jan Mateus in the number 57 car, who's 5th. Luca Link's up to 6th, looking for his best result of the season so far. Senna Van Serlen did get ahead of Max Rozam. He's in 6th place. Rozam down to 7th. And the rest of the field running through over the start-finish line. Just visibility as well now becoming a real issue for these drivers. Windscreen wipers on absolutely full chat. If you're behind somebody, you're getting a face full of spray. You see lock up there from Bart Horston, the race leader, the Australian driver from Sydney, based in the UK over the last few years. Drags the front left over the sodden tarmac on the way into that hairpin, but gets away with it. The thing is not to panic when you lock up in the wet. Just stay with it. Just ease off the brakes. Your head wants to press the brake pedal harder, but it's the last thing you want to do. Then you really will lock up. So the cars come through the almost mist now. Hats off to the camera ops as well. Again, absolutely sodden wet out there filming all of this for you. I've got a yellow at turn 5, the hairpin, and it's because Julius Denison, rejoining, he's had an off. So Julius Denison, the Danish driver, rejoining. A wild ride here for Jan Mateus as well in number 57 car from 4th place as it cost him a position. That was on the run up towards the chicane. Oh, and Colin Berninghausen's had an off as well, going through the gravel trap. So any hopes of his first podium of the season now gone. So obviously very, very treacherous coming out of turn 8, which is normally flat, easy in the dry, but in the wet, sending him out wide. That's 2 that have gone off there. So the order changes all the time. Just try and keep your cool and just adapt to the conditions time and time again. The best lap is a 1:44. They're lapping the 1:58s now, the best drivers at the head of the field, so you can see how wet it is. Oh, Denny Beck goes straight on again, worse this time. He's going to have to take to the gravel trap. He just started to pull back away as well. And Senna Van Serlen going out wide as well, and the race officials have said that's enough. The red flags are coming out. It is getting too treacherous out there, so they're going to stop the race, understandably so. It's getting worse and worse and worse. More and more cars going off, and the race director has said, look, that's enough. It is getting too much out there. And so the race is going to be stopped with 8 minutes, 21 seconds left on the clock. So we're not at 3/4 race distance, not at full points distance yet. And in this 22-minute +1 lap race, the conditions have completely and utterly changed from what we had at the start of the race. It is a super wet circuit now. For what it's worth, the weather app that I looked at this morning, which is usually pretty reliable, said it was going to be windy this morning, but should stay dry. And it wasn't until we get to 2 o'clock that there was more like a 66% chance of some rain, but it looked largely dry. But the Eifel region here, up in the hills in this part of Germany, just across the border from Belgium, about 65 kilometres from Cologne, the weather is notoriously volatile. It's its own unique climate here. And, well, it looks like it's not August, is it? It looks like November out there at the moment. It's only just about 13 degrees as well. It's very cool for the time of year. And those threatening-looking clouds dumped their load pretty early in the race. Drivers, lots of them going off the road, but doing a good job to avoid huge moments. Just needs to come into the pitch. You can see how much surface water and standing water there is starting to be now. So he's waiting to see if the race is going to get back underway and he can rejoin. But River's starting to flow down the circuit now. Hats off to Bart Horston. Terrific driving from him to control things, pull away from everybody. It was a masterclass in wet weather driving from Bart Horston, the race leader. Leighton Fury second, Denny Bent with two big wide moments at turn one. Third place, fourth, Jan Mathias, fifth, Senna van Seulen, and then sixth place. And his best result of the season so far for Lucas Link. If it stays like this, Luca Link had a couple of seventh, but not a top six finish yet. Whereas seventh, Alex Walker from the back, eighth, Colin Berninghausen. Very disappointing a race for him in the conditions. Ninth place from pole position, Adrian Roushney in 10th place. He's on course for one of his best results of the season as well. He had a sixth at the Nürburgring. And the fans still smiling here. They're coming their droves this weekend. It's been a really well-supported race event. And that's where, if you get a grandstand seat, always try and get one a bit further back under the roof, so you try and stay at least a little bit dry. Loads of grass filling the radiator there. You can see of Alex Walker's car where he had that high speed off coming up the hill through the exit to turn 8. So if they're going to get going again, they'll want to clear that to make sure there's enough airflow going into the car so it doesn't overheat. But I'm not sure I can see this restarting anytime soon, because that rain getting worse and worse, and streams and rivers now flooding the circuit here in every quarter. And I think, in my opinion anyway, absolutely the right decision to bring out the red flag, because it's getting a bit too hairy. Hello to our camera ops. I told you they're getting wet out there, didn't I? They've got the wet weather gear, and they've got a whole day of this. Yeah, doing a fantastic job for us. Trying to stay warm as well. It's pretty chilly out there today. So the cars lined up for now at the exit to the pit lane, led by the driver that was already in the pits, Elias Denison, in the number 95 car. And we had that run off the road as well. Going to be a few incidents to replay here. So this is the first is Carmen Krav getting crossed up wide on the curbs, which are wet and slippery. Out wide she goes. Robbie McAfee gets through. Getting through as well was Louisa Carla. That was down at the hairpin. Another angle of that. Sorry, it's down at turn 1. Another angle at that. Just sliding up the inside there was McAfee to get himself through. 13th at the stoppage of the race, though he was. It was actually really good car control from Carmen Kraft, because that could have been a biggie, and she just held with it, seesawed away at the steering wheel, and Carmen avoided what could have been a much, much bigger crash there. Kept her cool. This was the moment that Alex Walker went way out wide through the gravel trap. This is where he picked up all the grass over a big pothole in the road. There he went. So the car was up on one wheel at one point. Colin Berninghausen had a straight-on moment at the hairpin. This is from that bollard cam. He turns right. Nothing happens because the car aquaplaning through the corner. There's not much runoff there before you hit the grass and the mud. That's even slippier. There's an escape route. He managed to get back on the track, but lost a load of time. And then this was Jan Mathias going off the road as well. Still fourth at the red flag, but that was a wild ride as well for Jan. He's been going pretty well this season, in the top 5 in the championship. A guest appearance at the Nürburgring last year, the Czech driver. And whoa, all the way off the ground. That was a ramp, wasn't it, as that little strip of tarmac between the grass is raised. So up and over he went, and all 4 wheels in the air for a moment, hence the wild ride. This is one of the offs at turn 1 for Denny Bent we're looking at on the replay here. And loads of surface water there. That was the first time. The second time he went even deeper and through the gravel trap just before it was stopped. A bit of agricultural work has been done there then by Alex Walker, cutting the grass for the circuit owners, and confirmation that the race, I'm afraid, is not going to be resumed, and understandably so. So the race will not be resumed, and that will be declared as a race result. Possibly, we'll wait for confirmation, but possibly a half points race that. But anyway, it is Bart Horston that's going to get the race victory. So Bart Horston takes another win to extend his championship lead. That's 3 podiums on the trot now for Bart. A winning race 2 at the Nürburgring, 3rd yesterday, and a win today, 2nd of the season. And that is going to further extend his championship lead, which is a pretty narrow one. But his nearest rival in the championship, Leighton Fury, coming home in 2nd place. That's his 3rd consecutive podium as well. 2nd, 1st and 2nd the last 3 races for Leighton Fury. He's been the best qualifier so far this season on average. Denny Bent coming home in 3rd place. I think he'd be satisfied with that because A, he started 8th on the grid, and B, went off the road twice. Not that he was the only one. I think maybe Bart Horston was the only driver we didn't see going off the road, or Leighton Fury. Everybody else had big moments somewhere. Not that we saw all the moments necessarily. Could have had a moment off camera, but Horston and Fury just about mastered the conditions, I think. So yeah, Denny Bent will be pleased, I think, with 3rd place after finishing 8th yesterday. And that's his first podium finish since the 3rd race of the season at the Nürburgring, race 1 at the Nürburgring. So 4th place then, as I say, to Jan Mathias, who had a podium at the Nürburgring. And he's building a bit of a run here. That's the 4th top 6 finish on the trot for Jan Mathias, 2nd best result of the season. And Luca Link, 11th in the championship at the start of the day. He's had a couple of 7th place finishes, but that's his best result of the season, 5th place. So the timing screen corrects itself, goes back a lap, the last complete lap of the race. It was Luca that was going a bit wide at turn 1 just before the red flag, but that lap is scrapped effectively, so he gets a place back. So he finishes in 5th place behind Mathias. 6th place, Senna van Sola, who's had one of those weekends where it's been a bit up and down with the penalty yesterday, and then of course today he had a spin, dropped way down the order, but 6th place he recovered too. 7th place, Max Rosam, who was 2nd yesterday. Alex Walker from the back to 8th. He had that big moment that we saw. Ulysse de Neeson ends the race in the pit lane, but on count back, 9th position. Colin Birmingham in 10th place from pole position. So they're confirmation of the results. Just the 6 laps of racing, but they were certainly entertaining laps. And on count back by 3.3 seconds, Bart Horston taking victory in the 6th race of the season for the BMW M2 Cup from Fury, Bent, Mathias, Link, Van Sola, Rosam and Walker. 9th to Denison, 10th to Birminghausen. Rushni in 11th. Louisa Carla coming home in 12th place. She's been a consistent point scorer this year. Points in every race for Louisa. Luca Seidel, guest driver, coming home 13th. Won't be able to take points as a guest driver. Carmen Krav, Robbie McAfee and Claudia Henning followed in 14th, 15th and 16th positions respectively. And the fastest lap of the race from way at the start of the race was a 1 minute 44.534 for the race winner, Bart Horston. So he gets the fastest lap point as well. But there from the wide shot, you can see the rain just whipping across now here at the Nürburgring. The wind is up. Look at the flags on the left of the picture. So we knew the wind was coming. We didn't know the rain was coming, necessarily looking at the forecasting apps. But I suppose because the wind speed is up, it's just blowing weather across more rapidly than had been anticipated. So our top 3 have made their way back into the pit lane, and Bart Horston now about to get out of the car. Try not to dink the number 46 on your way out. Clumbers out, and the Australian puts everything back in place, attaches his radio and celebrates, gets out of the car, cheers to the camera. Excellent drive by Bart Horston. He really was under control. Almost made it look easy, but it certainly wasn't. Leighton Fury as well. Great weekend, 1st and 2nd for the South African. Started the weekend 5th in the championship, now 2nd in the championship behind Bart Horston. And Denny Bent, great effort from Denny. I had a nice chat with him at the start of the weekend. He's a really humble, quiet, unassuming young man. And he's lapping up the experience in the BMW M2 Cup. He's really appreciating all the outside things that you get from BMW and Project One as well, in terms of the learnings for the drivers on the media and the physical side of things. So he's here to learn, he said, and he's doing a great job this year. So back on the podium for Denny for the first time for 3 races. And that's the halfway stage in the season. Right down in a very, very wet pit lane. Let's hear from Verena.
Here we are in the wet and a very happy win. I saw that, Bart Horston. Congratulations. You did ask for the rain, right? We did a little rain dance there, and there you go, and you won.
Well,
I don't mind dancing, but I didn't really care if it was wet or dry. Yeah, I don't know, I just went, and we had wets on, then slicks on, then wets on, and then it looked dry when we went out, and then it rained. So everything, it's just the Nürburgring. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and really tricky race at the end.
It was really crazy because you came from 3 and you were on speed. You were so on fire.
Yeah, I was just banging out the laps, working as hard as I can, pushing forward. I mean, once it started getting very wet and the car was aquaplaning, I saw Leighton was catching up, but I was thinking, please stop there, because I can't even go flat in a straight line. But yeah, it was a challenging race, yeah.
But you did a phenomenal job, so congratulations, and back to the commentators.
Thanks very much, Farina. Poor Farina's getting absolutely soaked out there in the pit lanes. That was your race winner, the championship leader, Bart Horston. George Russell lookalike in the BMW M2 Cup. Fantastic performance, that really, really impressive drive from Bart, who is the second season racer, because almost, well, everybody else are first season racers. They're all in the Rookie Cup. He's the one that's not. So he is happy, very happy, as well as Leighton Fury. There in the middle of the picture, to the left is Denny Bent, another tall driver. I don't know what they feed them in the BMW M2 Cup. They're absolutely huge, some of these drivers. Max Rozam is another one. I think he's the tallest. And we had Maxim Osten last year winning the championship. He's 18 feet tall, I think, and racing in the ADAC GT4 championship this year for Project 1 and BMW. So the drivers discussing, lots to discuss as well, what the track was like there. And gesticulating, and most of them sort of seesawing their hands left and right, saying we had to really hang on to the car there. It was great fun for them, though. It's really tricky. It takes a huge amount of concentration, but there are a lot of drivers that love racing in those wet weather conditions. So now we get the podium celebrations. Well done to Denny Bant. He's on to the third step of the podium. Leighton Fury onto the podium the second time this weekend in second place. But your race winner, of course, for the second time this season, Bart Horston, taking victory by more than 3 seconds. The Australian national anthem. A great moment for Bart Horston on the top step of the podium. The presentation's next then. Champagne is there at the ready, as if they needed to get any wetter when the champagne spray happens. Next event coming up in 2 weeks' time at the Lausitz Ring. 3 more weekends to go in the championship. Hendrik Ziel, who's a representative of the BMW Cup, presents the third place trophy. We're very pleased. Denny Bent. Good end to the weekend for Denny. Clara Van Arlen, a representative of the championship partner BTR Transport Logistic, presents the second place trophy then to Leighton Fury. And it's going to be Roy Sakachi, a representative of the BMW M2 Cup, to present the winning trophy then to Bart Horston. Or is it? No, Christine is going to do it. Roy's disappeared. It's too wet for him. So Christine Curling, our very own head of media for the championship, presents the winner's trophy to Bart Horston. All the drivers also get a special pair of Born Originals race shoes, or trainers rather, gold, silver and bronze, that get presented to the meets racer. Here they are in the boxes, the rather soggy boxes. Poor Christine's getting soaking wet as well. But great drive that from Bart Horston, who will go into the second half of the season as the championship leader. Lausitz Ring in 2 weeks' time, then the wonderful Saxon Ring in September, and also in September the season finale at the spectacular Red Bull Ring. It's been a brilliant weekend of racing. The weather hasn't been ideal, but it's given us some great thrills out on the track. The drivers will now pose as they try and do this as quickly as possible with the rain pouring down so they don't get too wet. They'll all go onto the top step of the podium, pose and smile for the cameras, which are probably about to blow up with all the rain that's coming down upon them. And then Christine takes away the shoes. Trophies are laid down. Are they going to go with the champagne? Of course they are. The champagne is at the ready, and our top 3 celebrate. It's the champagne spray then here, race 2 at the Nürburgring. Thanks very much for joining us. My name's Chris Hartley. We'll see you all again at the Lausitz Ring in 2 weeks' time for the next adventure in the BMW M2 Cup. Bye for now.